Welcome to Smart Cherry's Thoughts. This is Sai from India.
Hi, Nicholas.
Hello, bonjour.
Yeah, how are you?
Good, good.
So,
Getting
thank
warm in
you.
here. Nothing spectacular for you, but it's quite a lot for us.
So, firstly, thank you very much, Nicholas, for giving me opportunity to interview you for my YouTube channel and podcast.
Is that it's an honor. Thanks for inviting me.
So, I thought to tell about you and the work that you are doing to my audience.
Sure. So I created in October a company called Inkan.Link. Inkan comes from from Asia, from Japanese. It's the Japanese don't use doodling; they use a stamp, and the red mark is called an incan. The idea beyond that, and we can go in many different directions, but let's start with where the idea is coming from. I've I've been working and I'm still working in cybersecurity today as a strategist in clouds, DevOps, VMs, name it. But before doing cybersecurity, I was also working in making DevOps and clouds a reality. So I have both view of building application, building services, and protecting those services. Um, and I can kind of have a frustration on the way we do cybersecurity today, and we try to protect data today by letting consumers, users, and app developers basically do whatever they want, and then try to come up with cybersecurity super nice tools and try to protect them from themselves, basically. Um, and this approach is like work if you do it well, but cost more and more because it's more and more. The hackers are more and more sophisticated, and when you come after the fact, you have less say on how things works, what everyone is able to do, and it's basically a more complicated problem to solve than trying to bring in a protected, trustable data in the first place. So that's why I'm trying to do. I'm trying to solve that. If you're an enterprise, imagine if you can trust more the data of the honest people coming to you. This because all that cleaning, all that cybersecurity burden is basically on the receiving end of data. And the companies who want to provide a service, they are responsible to figure out if the data and things coming in is clean. On the other hand, when you are honest, let's not talk about hacking and hackers for a change. I don't have the hoodie. If you are honest and you want to honestly share data with insurance, they start to treat you as a criminal because they have to, because the way of cybersec is working. So the global idea around that is instead of so we can all agree on the state of things, but what can we do about it? Let's take an extreme. When someone commit a crime, you have experts who can go on multiple different systems. Can be your cellular operator, can be your ADSL operator, etc., and check the logs. And based on those data, they can figure out your claims. You claim you were present at the corner of the street. So they can check if they find evidence of that or evidence of the opposite, etc., etc. What if we could benefit as users, as consumers from those data? So what if we, as consumer of those services, could ask your cellular operator, could ask AT&T or whoever, hey, I was at the corner of the street with my phone. Please certify that you saw my phone there. And suddenly you have like proactive forensic, but you have two sources, and you created something very hard to make a fake of, because the GPS of your phone plus the certification of the network, if you want to make a fake of that, you will have to hack the phone and the antennas at the same time, which is much harder to do than just making a fake GPS where you can. It's as easy as downloading an app. There is an app called Fake GPS, and you can fake GPS super easily. So building on this approach, and then you can add more and more and more, is what I'm trying to do. I didn't launch yet. I'm going to launch in this month or next, so it's a couple of weeks before beta launch. So if you have users interested to look at that, this was the globally. This is the technological angle, but I also see, and there is always a mix and interconnection between privacy and security. You cannot privacy without security. If everything is open, there is no privacy, and a need for that. It's around the same concept of trust. Or do you trust what the customers send you? And most of the customers, they are a bit lost. If you don't have 20 years and gray hairs like me in technology, which 20 years ago there were less people in technology, and the new kids, they know to use the phone, not necessarily all things works or things have been built. You basically it's hard to use. They don't really understand the implication, etc. So I also try to solve that and make something as simple as making a selfie, but it will build it will collect for you. The technology will be hidden, and it will make the work for you, that checking with the different actors, etc. That only the necessary data is shared between the actors. And we circle back again on trust, because if you don't really trust, if I share only my location and my identity, basically, or my consumer identity, but if you don't fully trust my phone because I can make a fake, because good reasons. It's not just you don't trust me. It's just you have good reason not to trust me because you receive a lot of false as an enterprise. You will need more data to make an opinion on is this real or not. So there is a vicious cycle in tech because of cyber, to try to get more and more data on people, and on the other end, people feel and are more and more conscious about it, but also not comfortable with it. Because if you are honest, you don't see why you will have to share all that, and there is so many abuse, and there is so many people not taking care of your data, etc. Sometimes it's a bit counterintuitive, but for people, but it's the state of where we are. So I'm really trying. I'm going to build an app and to build services that are meaningful to people, where I take care of the technological details to make sure that they can actually use it and benefit from it. So making something verifiable and taking care of the technological part of it between my company and the service providers. That can be banks, insurance, can be whatever. Yeah. Any services where you have to send data, they need to trust it. Is of interest in the stake. The very first, give you an example of the very first service I'm going to launch, is a protection for fake CEO attack. Do you know the fake CEO, fake, how do you call it? Fake transfer. It's when a CEO of a company is faked by the hackers, and they call accounting, and they have all the information about the company, about people, about whatever. They can fake the voice with deepfake. They can fake the number, etc. A good example, a couple of months ago, a real estate company gets stolen 15 million with a fake CEO attack. It's actually the fourth in revenue way for hackers to get money. It's not happening that often, but it's very, very damaging. The account is there, and you are almost certain that your own IT, especially your email, is corrupt. So that's all the hackers knows, and give you a story. So the idea for me will be to, with my app, you will on legitimate transactions, you will build this data, this trusted data. You take a selfie, you take a picture of the stuff. We collect as much trustable data, but keeping the privacy for real together. So the accounting will have to verify this if you want to make a transfer. And you can, forward looking, you can even think of getting the bank involved. In the physical world, when you have shops dealing with cash, and more in those shops, if they put the cash in the safe, they can't get it back. The employees, to protect themselves, because if they get robbed, they have no way to get to the cash to protect them, because if there is no cash, there is no interest attacking them. So I try to make a fully virtual version of that, because when you get those sort of attacks, it's very, very damaging and very hard on accounting people, because you will go to the police, they will be investigated. Maybe the first reflex, if you're a police, is to think they might be accomplice. And when they are not, it's very, very hard for them, because they made a mistake. Sometimes those hackers get better and better every day. It can be an honest mistake. I mean, it might be not obvious at all that it was not the legitimate people calling them. So it's very hard for those guys. And this is in a nutshell what I try to achieve, both on the technological aspects of it, but also on the market and the privacy parts, where today you have a choice between trying to be anonymous or our GAFA good friends being the product of advertisements. In between, except ultra-regulated verticals, there is no real offer for a fully private, honest services here. So that's what I try to tackle. It's a big ambitious, starting from scratch, and I know it. But that's basically the story of what's going on with Inkan.
So do
You're
you
on
have
mute.
a
Yeah.
yeah? Do you have a particular experience that made you to think that I need to start a company which will solve this problem?
Yeah. I've been a consulting system engineer for Fortinet, a major security company, and my job was really to find solutions to problems. Obviously, with the portfolio of Fortinet, but not only. If we didn't have the right solution, why not? And it was the way the ecosystem works brings me to how can we, instead of bringing security at the end of the decision making, which is what always happens, people deploy services and apps and then try to, and then say, oh, by the way, Mr. Security guys, we put a new services in. Figure out. Oh, it's expensive. Yeah, of course. You didn't ask in the first place. And just ask any company how much time and efforts it takes them to be just compliant with. Compliance is the bare minimum. GDPR, etc. It's the bare minimum, and any company should arrive. It's not the top. It's the minimum. And they still struggle to get the minimum. They still struggle to put second factor authentication. They still struggle to do all those things. And on the other hand, regular people struggles to use it because it's not dedicated to something meaningful to them. PGP encryption for emails exists for 30 plus years. Nobody correctly uses it. You can never count on people using it. And if you think about it, that will solve so many problems we have today and every day. It's because it's too deep into crypto and technical and all that. That's why I try to take care of that part as a company, but making services that are meaningful to people in their everyday life, and not requiring 2 weeks of training just to be able to use a crypto key or a hardware wallet, if you see what I mean.
So normal, ordinary users who don't know anything about technology, can they be uh, understand the user interface that
That
that you are creating?
that's the goal. The ultimate goal is that they could use an app as simple as making a selfie or an email. They know to do mails and selfies. So that's basically the expected training. Can you send an email with your phone and make a selfie? Should not. It might be hard for a couple of, but in most cases it should be enough. And based on that, following a bit of instruction should be enough. That's the idea. And it's a challenge, sometimes harder than deep down crypto technological checks and threat intelligence looking and thinking. That sometimes seems complicated because it is technology. It is complex, but if you have if you only need one expert to solve it. To onboard so many people who are not at all interested in technology, in learning, they want something that that provides them what they want and it's not stepping in a way. It's another level of it's another story or level of complexity altogether.
I can see you're also a solutions architect.
I'm sorry, they didn't get it.
I also understood that you are a solutions architect.
Yes. I've been for 20 plus years. Yes. You want to talk about these those other parts?
I mean, how the solutions architect experience of yours is helping you to uh, helping you to uh, make things in the company
Be,
that you started.
or become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
In in most cases, the solution architect, sales engineers is a very particular profession. I usually used to say that we are engineers by trade, but we are able to talk to customers. And once in a while, we can even translate between the two. The hardest part in most cases is really getting to understand the customer problems, not listen enough. You have 2 years, 1 month so you have to listen double, and know the technology. They most in I've been solution architect in many companies, and they expect you to be a good solution architect aims to be a trusted advisor. And sometimes you have to be ready to say that you don't have a solution from your company and even help them to partner or to build something with another company. It might be counterintuitive in sales. Sales wants to sell more, especially if you have a small focus. And I'm a bit particular because I'm also being part of standardizations. We coming from the telecom world, everything is with norms and standards. So I've been working with ETSI, with MEF. I'm pushed to get more security in the telcos, create the MEF 88 version, which is defining security as a service for MSSP and SD-WAN with a definition, with a proper technological definition of things. So it's not revolutionizing the thing. It's not creating something new, but it's agreeing on the terms. And a firewall is this. It does this and that precisely with something you can test. You can build a certification out of it, and making a yes or no. Is this one or is it not? Is it certified or not? Something like this. Because in some, especially in security, we don't have this level of precision and normative work, and the result is it's a market-driven creation. Example: everyone is going to talk about next-gen firewall, but there is no real precise definition of one. So every vendor kind of have their own definition, and it's the market who decide if you're really washing or if you really have a next-gen firewall. This cannot work in the telcos. You take your phone and you can phone anywhere on the planet, literally anywhere, any country. You have internet, the same internet. You can take the same PC You have the same connector, etc., everywhere on the planet, except the power cord, where you have you need a different one. That shows you the difference between a world with agreed standards between stakeholders and not. So everything related to communication on laptops and phones works everywhere on the planet the same, with the same connectors, the same everything, not the power cord. And this shows you it's not by accident. It's because of the normative language. It takes forever. It takes a lot of time to agree. But when it's done, and we have a common ground. There is benefits and drawbacks on both approach, but it's the way it is. I diverge a bit. It was the solution architect role. Yeah, and and I also represent some. I'm also focused on things in the proper cyberspace, especially on DevSecOps, where I represent ULESKA. It's a NASOC. So the idea is really to get the people and methods doing application security and get their automation and get them into the DevOps in the DevOps iteration and work around that. It's really it's kind of the same idea as you find the same behavior I have with Inkan is trying to fix the problem at source. That's it. Fixing the application instead of trying to put a lot of security stuff around and in between after you build an application. Don't remove your firewalls. Don't get me wrong. They might be important, but a focus on how to develop application and keep up with the changes is where security should go, in my opinion. And this is why I'm happy to work with those guys.
So how many years of cybersecurity experience that you have?
Full professional will be 6, 7, but I started to do firewalls in the 90s. So it can go back to a long time, but it was not working for a cybersecurity company. It was focusing on protecting application and assets of an application.
So what companies and what industries the app or the product that you're creating, the service that you're providing, who are going to get benefit from this?
Anyone who wants anyone is bad. You don't know where you're going. The problem I want to solve is I want that we could use more of the data we produce anyway, instead of filling up piles of PDFs with Doodle, which are very unsecure if you look at it, and replace that by pressing using your fingerprint on your phone, and on the other end they receive already ready trustable data that can be insurance, that can be banks, that can be in between persons. It's the dream is to use the app to sign things. So you can sign that you receive something, you can sign an agreement, etc. Not making it like the paper, but on digital. Using PDF is not to me is not really a way to digitalize a broken process. You have a broken, painful paperwork process in the first place. Just using PDFs instead of paper accelerate the thing because it accelerates the exchange instead of mail. But that's it. That you have no better automation. You have no better trust, no better security, even worse sometimes. So it's actually easier to make fakes than on paper. So I want to try to tackle those type of problems. I don't know yet. Then I will start getting after the market with the fake CEO type of problems, and see where I can find people interested and solve their problem. That's what a solution architect comes from. This is what a solution architect is for. Is like we're looking for problems and try to help build a solution for them.
Awesome. And also, can you tell me more about DevSecOps?
You want me to go deeper in DevSecOps? Is that right?
I mean, the top layer you can talk.
Yeah, I've been on that issue for a while. I was at the beginning of the DevOps movements, and we see wishful thinking sometimes, like shift left, etc. People with very good intentions, and they will get some level of progress, but I see so many times people not trying to avoid getting to the security experts. In DevOps, you build services and apps. So let's say apps, can be more, but basically, let's say apps. There is OWASP defining the different the organism, defining how you secure things. What do you look for? Tracking the dependencies, giving you advice on how to do things properly. To me, the real way to do DevSecOps is to onboard the security specialist in your DevOps environment, in your developments. Developers, they have to do infrastructure as code. They have to do the code. They have to do we try to shuffle in security, and they have to go fast and faster. It doesn't scale. It doesn't work. You need expertise. Of course, you can automate enough tools, especially for dependencies, SCAs, or a bit of SAST. You can have tools in their IDE telling the developers, helping the developers. That's great, like the one like Sneak or others in the same realm. Yeah, you will get better than compared to not doing it. But it's not. It's like at best you might go to compliance. But security is way above. You need expertise. You need someone who's every day on your language, on your context, knowing what's going on, knowing what the hackers are doing, etc. Let me give you an example. Imagine you have a team, DevOps team, doing Java stuff, right? Everything was fine 6 months ago, and them doing nothing. They didn't have to do anything. You take the same code as 6 months ago. Now you're vulnerable to Log4j, and you have to do something. That's the problem with security. The problem. It's not a problem. It's the way it is. But you might have unsecure, and you have unsecure and vulnerability in the code that nobody knows about yet. But the day one of the security researchers or worst hacker find a way to exploit the vulnerability, we are all vulnerable. And are you going to ask developers just to get on the dark web and try to be with the hackers to understand what they're doing, just to be ready when something like this come up? No, it's not their job. You need to build the automation and communication between those specialists in security realm and the developers. This is how you get the best benefit of both. The focus and the DevSecOps movement is good because we have focus on security, but the naming is bad. I am especially the SecOps. If you're doing operation, security is part of your job. It's not an add-on you should do after that. It's part of the job. Developers have been separated and protected by network security only. Not that good in many cases, but between dev and sec, then there is something that needs to be done. So really getting the code more secure in the first place by design, and can go up a level to architects, to designers, to product owners, where they should understand that security is not only a technical issue. You can create a super complex way with free factor for authentication to get to whatever data your customer have, but it might be way too much for them. But compared, if I am a customer of random services, and it's more complicated to get in than making a transaction with my bank, it doesn't work. It doesn't feel good. So you have to channel in those way of thinking to how people are going to use it, or people are going to abuse it, but also finding that balance between usability, security, speed, etc., etc. The global security is global and is everywhere, and that's why usually I say that security is mastery. If you have to master both the environments, the networking, etc., and the developments and your craft to be able to bring the best security to the mix.
So what do you say at last, you as CEO of the startup, what do you say about your service?
Yeah, the mix of DevOps and security. And when I present, I usually do a little game, which might be interesting for your audience, is especially if you have DevOps people in the room, just try to imagine what security people think about DevOps. What are the things they like and what are the things they don't like, and try to figure out, like, constant, permanent changes. They have a real mix feeling, because security is mastering, and you can. It's hard to master something if you change it every day. If it's just change for the sake of change. If you get better every day, then it's good. But it's not always the case. On the other hand, if you listen a little bit to security guys, they ask you to patch your systems all the time. They ask you to change, to upgrade this, to upgrade that, to implement the fixes, to have patch Tuesdays. DevOps enable what was very, very hard with waterfall, to have a system to verify that if you upgrade anything, it still works before you deploy it. So we love that. We have no more excuse not to patch. So that part we love. Reviewing the changes can be good. Another thing, a bit harder sometimes, especially for security people who are not that versed into coding, with infrastructure as code, with policy engines and policies written as code. You have actually a much better, easier way to make your security jobs and to audit, because you can audit the changes, you can audit the deltas, the small part, and you're going to see what is going to be deployed compared to 400 page of security policies for the enterprise that people read once in a while when they have an audit, and try to make them the max, because they know they can't do everything that's in it, and usually only result in frustration. So I really encourage security people to get into that bandwagon and really rethink the way they will audit and review a system. And another one is the number of stacks, and that's also very important for DevOps to think about it. When you start to pile up a YAS and a Kubernetes and a containers and this and that and all, and it's complex, so you put a manager on top and you put yet another framework, and where is the mastery? Are you really sure you understand the implication of changing one bit of ACL in the YAS or in the API? Probably not. Simplicity is key if you want to master something. Simplicity, and then you only focus on complexifying when it's actual, when you have a complex problem to solve. I see so many times people rushing to the last hype on, oh, there is a new thing, so everything we've done before is bad. We need to throw to the bin. Let's do something new, and they start to, and everything start to fall apart when, as usual, things is shiny easy when you start, always. It's when you go into the hard part and that you need the grit to get to the deep, and this is where you learn. So for young persons getting into this, I've seen this for 25 years. It's always the case. The mastery in security is at the other end of the dip. When you suffer, when you arrive in the code where there is no documentation or not proper, or it's not good, it needs to be done. When you start to raise bugs because you find them, this is where you learn, where you really learn. The Kubernetes 101 is good, but it's, come on, this thing is 8 years old. It's good you start somewhere, but we also need to really, really use those things. And this is where you start to see complex behaviors. I've done distributed system for 20 plus years. It was a thing before the clouds and the Kubernetes, but it was reserved to very expensive and usually telco systems or banks. And the way we were doing it with proprietary everything was extremely expensive, and it was a small club of people doing it. Today it's much more spreaded, but the theory, the distributed theory of everything is still the same. Oh, sorry. Did you get me? Okay. I've Siri wanted to add something to the mix. Basically, that's probably going to be the conclusion of a very lovely talk. I appreciate talking to you and to your audience. Very nice to have someone getting deep into those. I've saw your other interviews, so getting curious and deep into technologies and looking for the people that are doing it. It's easy to forget, but it's also easy to find who did Kubernetes, who did this standard, this IETF TLS 1.3 that piss you off when you try to understand it. People doing who did it, who think about it, are still around, and they usually are happy to talk about it. So it's I encourage you to continue to look for this information and distill it in this manner.
So at last, I want your observation as a solution architect, as a person who is into cybersecurity. I did masters in software engineering and also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. So how interviewing experts like you who are already in the industry for a long time, who solved a lot of different problems, being in different roles, interviewing experts like you, what I'm going to learn and how I'm going to use this knowledge if I work in IT in coming days.
It was breaking up a bit at the beginning. Was it a question?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm asking you a question.
I didn't have the first part of the network breaking up a bit. I may probably have a couple of names in your region, and of it's the old mentoring way if you want to go if you want to go deeper. So you can look for the information, do books, etc. But the way I learned is I try to do something. You learn much more doing than reading. When I mean it's in the teaching theories. You remember 5% of what you read, and you remember 90% of what you try to do. So it's Feynman, etc. There's nothing new there, but try to do something. Try to say, oh, I see this tool. What can I do with it? Try to find something you want to do with it, something that is not hello world, and then you will bump into the difficulties. You will find the right questions. If you show that you've done your homework of 101s and reading the docs, and you tried to find the information and did not, then you have a subject to discuss with people who did the thing, because they see you've done something. There is so many people just asking, how do I do 101? Read. Read it. It's written so many times already. You have so many YouTube videos and stuff. So do that part and try to do something. And this is the best way for me to learn. Also because I was always at the beginning of some of those things and movements where you didn't have trainings and one-on-ones because the thing was not ready yet. So you had to learn by reading the code or trying to figure out, and you find bugs and you learn and you get better and better. But you have to go through the frustration of something that's not working perfectly, and then making it work. But to me, that's in our industry, this is the best way to learn. The mindset for security is quite just a little bit different. because you're going to try to misuse something. The normal developers focus on developing a feature. So you want to do something, a customer, a user wants to do something with the code, and you try to implement that. The security people will look at a system and try to find ways to abuse it, to get more privilege, to get in, to extract information, to kill it. There is a real difference in mindset between the two. But you can imagine that if you understand very well the internal, you will get much better at abusing it, because you master what that thing is doing. So up to everyone to find their way, to find their what they are excited about, and excited enough to go through the deep of despair when something is not working the way you want. But at the end, you're very proud when you make it work, or you really find that day zero or that bug in what you're trying to achieve.
So I'll share your web link in the description of this video. People who find our video on YouTube can see the service that you're providing, and also I'll put the web link of yours on the screen.
Perfect.
People who will watch it can see on the screen. And also, can you spell your website to my podcast people who are listening to this?
So my name, you probably have the spelling. My own name. You can find me on Twitter with THOMNICO. So it's Tom Nico. The Nicolas Thomas is a very, very common name in France. And my company, Inkan.Link. So Inkan.Link. And you can have a view of the missions, visions, the issues we trying to solve, and happy to share or exchange with curious people.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website,
Sure.
internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Sure. That's what we are doing this.
Yeah. So thanks, Nicolas. Keep doing. Keep inspiring. Yeah.
Just cut the end of yesterday because it was not relevant. Okay.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah. Thanks again for your valuable time and spending your.
Thanks to you to doing this. It's good to it's quite refreshing.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.